My parents threw me out for calling 911 on my star quarterback brother assaulting his girlfriend, but I had evidence of how he'd paid her to keep quiet, so I destroyed their perfect family image forever. Growing up, I was always the snitch of the family. My brother Jake was untouchable. Star quarterback, full ride to Alabama, the whole town's golden boy. Meanwhile, I was just his loser little brother who didn't understand how the world worked. That's what my parents told me every time Jake did something messed up, like when he threw my Xbox down the stairs, or gave me a black eye by accident during practice. Stop being sensitive, you're gonna ruin his career. But last week, I walked in on something I couldn't ignore. I came home early from school with a migraine and heard screaming from Jake's room. His girlfriend Emma was sobbing, begging him to stop. I cracked the door open and saw Jake had his girlfriend Emma pinned against his bedroom wall, his hand around her throat, but not in the good way. She was crying, begging him to let go. Without thinking, I recorded it on my phone and called 911. Jake was arrested that night, released on bail by morning. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of my entire family throwing all of my belongings into bin bags. "You've destroyed this family!" my mom screamed. "Do you know what you've done to his future? To our future!" My dad just stood there, cold as ice. "You have 1 hour to get out. You are no longer our son." I don't know why I tried to reason with them, but I did. "This isn't Jake's first time hurting Emma. She's a gold digger," my mom hissed, "and you helped her ruin him." So there I was, sitting outside with my garbage bags of stuff with nowhere to go when I got a call. It was Rebecca, Emma's older sister. Turns out, she had heard about the police report and wanted to know how much information I had, but I was crying too hard to speak, and I guess she figured I got kicked out because she told me to just send her my location pin. 20 minutes later, she arrived in her hit-up Toyota Corolla. The drive was silent until we got to her apartment. The second we walked in the door, Rebecca broke down, like completely lost it. She sat on the sofa and hugged her pillow with tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry," she repeated almost 100 times. Emma never told me how bad it was. I should have known. I should have protected her. I sat there, still clutching my garbage bags, not knowing what to say. Here I was, homeless at 17, and I was watching a grown woman fall apart over her sister. That's when her phone rang. Rebecca put it on speaker. It was Emma. "Becca, he won't stop texting me." Emma's voice was shaking. "He says if I don't drop the charges, he's going to release our videos. The private ones." Rebecca's face went white. "He's what?" "He's already sent me 15 messages. His parents must have given him his phone back. He says," Emma's voice cracked, "he says he knows where you live. He knows I'm probably there." My blood ran cold. Rebecca looked at me, then back at her phone. "Emma, listen to me. OP recorded him attacking you. We have proof." There was silence on the other end. Then Emma whispered, "OP has a video?" "Yeah," I finally spoke up. "The whole thing. Him choking you. You begging him to stop. Everything." Rebecca stood up, pacing her tiny apartment. "The lawyer always said he needed someone from inside one of these families. Someone who could prove the parents knew." She stopped and stared at me. "OP, what else do you know? About Jake? About what your parents have covered up?" I thought about all the times things got swept under the rug. The parties where girls left crying. The checks my mom wrote that she thought I didn't see. The hushed phone calls with lawyers. Everything, I said. "I know everything." Rebecca pulled out her laptop. "Then we're going to bury them. All of them." I smiled. Rebecca's fingers flew across the keyboard while Emma stayed on speaker, her breathing shaky through the phone. I pulled out my own phone, scrolling through the video I'd taken. Jake's face was clear, his hand wrapped around Emma's throat, her desperate pleas audible. The timestamp showed 2:47 p.m., just 3 days ago. "Emma, can you screenshot all his messages?" Rebecca asked, opening a new folder on her laptop labeled Evidence. "Don't delete anything. We need everything documented." I watched Rebecca work, creating subfolders, organizing files. She moved with purpose now, the crying done. Emma sent screenshot after screenshot, each one making Rebecca's jaw clench tighter. Jake's messages escalated from fake apologies to threats about the videos, then to promises that his parents would handle this. "OP, send me that video," Rebecca said. "And anything else you have. Old texts, photos, anything showing Jake's behavior or your parents covering for him." I started with the video, watching the upload bar creep across the screen. Then I remembered the photos I'd taken of checks my mom wrote. 3 different times I'd seen her in the kitchen, checkbook out, whispering on the phone about making problems go away. I'd snapped pictures, not knowing why, just feeling like I should document it. "Holy shit," Rebecca breathed when she opened the images. "These checks. Emma, are these the dates when—" "Yeah," Emma's voice was small. "The first one was after homecoming junior year. The second was last spring. I don't know about the third." My stomach turned. There were other girls. Other times Jake had hurt someone and my parents had just paid them off. Rebecca's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and her face went pale. "My landlord says he got a call about me harboring a runaway." "That's my parents," I said. "They'll try to force me back." "Like hell," Rebecca muttered, typing furiously. "Emma, I'm calling Marcus. Remember him from college? He's a lawyer now, does domestic violence cases." While Rebecca made the call, I kept uploading files. Screenshots of Jake bragging in our family group chat about putting some girl in her place. Photos of bruises on my arms from when Jake would grab me too hard. A video of my dad telling me to stop being dramatic when I showed him my black eye. Rebecca paced while talking to Marcus, occasionally shooting me worried glances. "No, he's 17. Yes, they kicked him out. He has evidence of multiple assaults." Emma had gone quiet on the other line. Then suddenly, "Oh God, he's here. Jake's outside my house. I can see his truck." "Don't go outside," Rebecca said immediately. "Is anyone home with you?" "Just my mom, but she's asleep. She took pain meds for her back. Wake her up now and call 911 if he tries to come in." I could hear Emma moving, her breathing quick. "He's just sitting there, watching the house." Rebecca ended her call with Marcus. "He says Jake's violating the restraining order." "Emma, you need to call the police. They won't do anything," Emma said bitterly. "His dad golfs with half the department. Call anyway. Create a record." Rebecca grabbed her keys. "I'm coming to get you." "I'm coming too," I said. Rebecca shook her head. "You need to stay here. Keep uploading everything. Marcus is coming by in an hour." She left, and I was alone in the apartment. I kept working, finding more evidence I collected over the years without really meaning to. A recording of Jake admitting he roughed up his ex-girlfriend Megan. Another of my mom coaching Jake on what to tell the principal after a girl reported him for harassment. My phone rang. Mom. I almost didn't answer, but something made me swipe accept. "You ungrateful little bastard," she hissed. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" "Alabama called. They're reconsidering Jake's scholarship." "Good," I said. "You're going to fix this. You're going to tell the police you lied, that you misunderstood what you saw." "I have it on video, Mom." Silence. "Then, videos can be edited. You're going to delete it and come home." "Number. Then you're going to find yourself in more trouble than you can imagine. We know where you are. Rebecca Winters, apartment 4B. Did you think we wouldn't find out?" My hands shook. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm telling you how the world works. The same way we've been trying to tell you for years. Jake's future matters. Yours doesn't. Come home now, or we'll make sure you regret this for the rest of your life." She hung up. I stared at my phone, then quickly started backing up everything to a cloud drive. If they were going to come after me, I needed copies everywhere. 30 minutes later, Rebecca returned with Emma. Emma's eyes were red and puffy, but she moved with determination. She hugged me, which surprised us both. "Thank you," she whispered, "for believing me, for doing something." "Jake left when he saw me coming," Rebecca said. "But we got pictures of his truck outside. More evidence he's stalking her." Marcus arrived right on time, a tall black man in a rumpled suit carrying a battered briefcase. He shook my hand firmly. "You're brave, kid. Not many people would stand up to their own family." We spent the next 2 hours going through everything. Marcus took notes, asked questions, made copies. He was particularly interested in the checks. "This establishes a pattern," he said. "Your parents knew about Jake's behavior and actively covered it up. That's conspiracy, maybe even racketeering if we can prove they did this repeatedly." "They did," I said. "Mom keeps a second set of books for the restaurant. I've seen them. She records the payoffs there. Hide hides them as business expenses. Marcus's eyes lit up. Can you get those books? Maybe. They keep them in the office safe at home. Don't do anything illegal, Marcus warned. But if you can legally access them, Emma spoke up. What about the other girls? The ones they paid off? We'd need them to come forward, Marcus said. Without their testimony, the checks don't prove much. Rebecca pulled up social media on her laptop. I know some of them. Megan transferred schools junior year, suddenly. And there was that girl from the volleyball team, Sarah. I can reach out, Emma said quietly. Girl to girl. They might talk to me. We worked until past midnight, building our case. Marcus left with a flash drive full of evidence, promising to file motions in the morning. Emma crashed on Rebecca's couch, too scared to go home. I lay on the floor in a sleeping bag Rebecca had found, staring at the ceiling. 3 days ago, I was just Jake's loser brother. Now I was homeless. But for the first time in my life, I felt like I was doing something right. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You have no idea what you've started. Drop this now, or everyone will know what kind of person you really are. I showed it to Rebecca. She took a screenshot, added it to the evidence folder. Let them threaten us, she said. We have the truth. The next morning, I woke to pounding on the door. Rebecca checked the peephole, and her face went white. It's the police. Emma sat up on the couch, terrified. I felt my heart racing. Had my parents actually called the cops on me? Rebecca opened the door. 2 officers stood there, one older with gray hair, one younger. We're looking for a runaway minor, the older one said. We have a report that he might be here. He's not a runaway, Rebecca said firmly. He was kicked out by his parents. That's not what they're saying. They say he left after a family argument and they're worried about him. I stepped into view. I'm right here, and I'm not going back. The younger officer looked uncomfortable. Son, you're 17. Your parents have rights. They threw my stuff in garbage bags and told me I wasn't their son anymore. I said, I have witnesses. He's safe here, Rebecca added. And we've already contacted a lawyer. The older officer sighed. Look, I know the Thompsons. Good family. I'm sure this is all a misunderstanding. Is that what you said about all the girls Jake hurt? I interrupted. The ones my parents paid off? Both officers went still. The younger one glanced at his partner. What girls? The ones Jake assaulted. The ones my parents wrote checks to so they'd stay quiet. Is that the good family you know? The older officer's face hardened. That's a serious accusation, son. It's not an accusation. I have evidence. Photos of the checks, videos of Jake attacking his girlfriend, recordings of my parents coaching him on how to lie about it. Rebecca stepped forward. We've already provided everything to our lawyer. He'll be filing charges today. The officers exchanged looks. The older one pulled out a notepad. We're going to need to see this evidence. Our lawyer will provide it through proper channels, Rebecca said coolly. They left after taking basic information, warning me that my parents might file more formal charges if I didn't return home. I didn't care. I was done protecting Jake. Done pretending our family was perfect. Emma's phone rang. She looked at the screen and her face crumpled. It's Megan, the girl who, she says she'll talk to us. Rebecca immediately put the phone on speaker as Emma answered. Megan's voice came through shaky and uncertain. Emma, first period. I got your message about Jake. Megan, thank you for calling back. Emma said softly. Are you somewhere safe to talk? I'm in my car. I need to know if what people are saying is true. Did he really hurt you? Emma's voice cracked slightly. Yes, and I think he hurt you too. The silence stretched for several heartbeats before Megan spoke again. The check your parents gave mine. It was for $50,000. They said it was a scholarship fund, but I knew. My parents knew. Everyone knew. Rebecca grabbed a notepad, scribbling quickly while Emma kept Megan talking. I watched as she wrote down dates, amounts, details that made my stomach churn. My parents had been doing this for years. Would you be willing to make a statement? Emma asked gently. We have a lawyer who... I can't. Megan cut her off. My parents would call me. They used that money for my brother's medical bills. If we have to pay it back. You wouldn't have to pay anything back, Rebecca interjected. That money was a bribe, not a legal settlement. I have to go, Megan said suddenly. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm really sorry. The line went dead. Emma stared at the phone, tears rolling down her cheeks. Rebecca put an arm around her sister while I sat there feeling useless. She'll come around, Rebecca said. Once she sees others speaking up, she'll find her courage. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister Lily. Mom and Dad are at Jake's emergency team meeting. House is empty for the next 2 hours. I showed it to Rebecca. The books Mom keeps. They're in the safe in their bedroom. I know the combination. Marcus said not to do anything illegal, Rebecca reminded me. It's not illegal if I live there, right? They kicked me out yesterday, but legally I'm still a resident for 30 days. Rebecca chewed her lip, thinking, take Emma's phone. Record everything. If anyone asks, you were just getting your belongings. 20 minutes later, I stood outside my childhood home, hands trembling as I unlocked the front door. The house felt different now, hostile and cold. I moved quickly up the stairs, past Jake's room where it all started, to my parents' bedroom. The safe sat in their closet, hidden behind Mom's shoe collection. My fingers fumbled with the combination. Jake's jersey number twice. The lock clicked open. Inside, 3 leather-bound ledgers sat stacked neatly. I pulled them out, flipping through pages of my mother's careful handwriting. Names, dates, amounts. Sarah Martinez, $30,000. Megan Chen, $50,000. Ashley Williams, $25,000. There were more. So many more. What are you doing here? I spun around to find Lily standing in the doorway, arms crossed. My 14-year-old sister looked older somehow, tired in a way that made my chest ache. Lily, they told everyone you attacked Jake, she said flatly. Said you've always been jealous of him, that you made up lies to ruin his life. You know that's not true. She stared at me for a long moment. I know Jake hurts people. I've always known. My hands stilled on the ledgers. What do you mean? I mean, I have eyes. I have ears. I live in this house too. She stepped into the room, closing the door behind her. I heard Emma screaming that day. I saw you call 911. I watched them throw your stuff out like garbage. Lily, I'm tired of pretending, she said, voice cracking. Tired of acting like Jake's some hero when I know what he really is. When I see how scared girls get around him. I set the ledgers on the bed, moving toward my sister. Why didn't you ever say anything? Because I'm 14. Because no one listens to me either. Because she wiped at her eyes angrily. Because I was scared I'd end up like you. Homeless. Thrown away. I'm not thrown away, I said softly. I'm free. She laughed bitterly. Free? You're sleeping on some stranger's floor. Mom and Dad are telling everyone you're mentally unstable. Jake's been showing people edited versions of your video, making it look like Emma was play acting. My blood ran cold. He's doing what? His friend Connor's been helping him. They've got some app that changes videos, makes them look fake. I grabbed the ledgers, shoving them into my backpack. I have to go. Wait, Lily pulled out her phone. Let me help. Number, I don't want you getting involved. I'm already involved, she snapped. I've been involved since the day I was born into this messed up family. At least let me do something useful. Before I could respond, we heard the front door slam downstairs. Voices carried up. My parents, Jake, and someone else. Coach Williams. They're back early, Lily whispered. Is there another way out? She shook her head. They'll see you no matter what. Unless what? Unless they're distracted. She opened the bedroom door. Go to your old room. Wait for my signal. Lily, no, but she was already heading downstairs. I crept down the hall to my former bedroom. Empty now, except for the furniture. Voices rose from below. What are you doing home? Mom's voice, sharp with suspicion. You're supposed to be at school. I felt sick, Lily said. Threw up in second period. You look fine to me, Jake said. I could hear the sneer in his voice. Yeah, well, you look like someone who chokes girls, so I guess looks can be deceiving. The silence that followed was deafening. Then Jake's voice, low and dangerous. What did you just say? You heard me. Lily, Dad's voice boomed. Apologize to your brother right now. Why? Because he's the golden boy? Because he's going to the NFL? Because you've spent years covering up what he really is? I peered out my door, saw Lily standing at the top of the stairs, facing down our entire family. She looked so small, but her voice was steel. I don't know what lies your brother has been filling your head with, Mom started. OP didn't tell me anything. I have eyes. I have ears. I know about Sarah Martinez. I know about Megan Chen. I know about all of them. You don't know what you're talking about. out, Coach Williams said. Jake's a good kid, a leader. Sometimes people try to take advantage by letting him hurt them, by being so traumatized they change schools, by taking money to stay quiet. Lily pulled out her phone. I know more than you think I do. Jake started up the stairs. Give me the phone, Lily. Number. I said give me the phone. He lunged for her, and that's when everything went sideways. Lily dodged, but Jake grabbed her arm, twisting hard. She cried out, and I was moving before I could think, bursting out of my room. Let her go! Jake spun, still gripping Lily's arm, his face contorted with rage. You're supposed to be gone. Let her go. He shoved Lily aside, and she stumbled, catching herself against the wall. Jake advanced on me, fists clenched. You ruined everything, he snarled. My scholarship, my future, everything. You ruined it yourself when you decided hurting people was okay. He swung at me, but I'd learned to read his movements years ago. I ducked, and his fist hit the wall. While he cursed, I noticed Lily had her phone up, recording everything. Stop it! Mom screamed from the bottom of the stairs. Both of you, stop it right now! But Jake was beyond listening. He grabbed me by the throat, slamming me against the wall. You want to know what I do to people who cross me? Jake, stop! Dad's voice held a note of panic now. There are witnesses! I don't care! Jake's grip tightened. I'm sick of everyone acting like I'm the bad guy. Emma wanted it rough. They all did. They just changed their minds after. I couldn't breathe, spots dancing in my vision. But I could see Lily, still recording, tears streaming down her face. Coach Williams was backing toward the door. My parents stood frozen, watching their golden boy destroy himself. Jake's phone rang, the sound jarring enough that his grip loosened slightly. He pulled it out with his free hand, glancing at the screen. His face went white. Connor? He let go of me completely, answering the call. What do you mean you're not? I don't understand. I slumped against the wall, gasping for air. Jake listened to whatever Connor was saying, his expression cycling through confusion, anger, and finally fear. You can't do this to me, he said. We're brothers, man. We're Connor. He stared at his phone, then hurled it against the wall where it shattered. What happened? Coach Williams asked. Connor's backing out. Says he won't edit the videos. Says he's done lying for me. Jake turned on me, eyes wild. This is your fault. You turned him against me. No, Lily said quietly. You did that yourself. Jake spun toward her. Shut up. You don't know anything. I know you just assaulted OP on camera. I know you admitted Emma wanted it rough. I know you've been having Connor edit evidence. She held up her phone. And now everyone else will know too. Jake lunged for her again, but this time Dad intervened, grabbing Jake's arm. Enough. You're making things worse. Worse? Jake laughed hysterically. How can things get worse? My life is over. We'll fix this, Mom said desperately. We always fix things. We just need to what? I asked, finding my voice. Pay Lily off too? How much is your daughter's silence worth, Mom? Another 50,000? 100? Don't be dramatic, she snapped. Lily's not going to say anything. She's family. So was I said. Until yesterday. Lily moved to stand beside me. I already sent the video to OP's lawyer, and to Rebecca, and to Emma. The room erupted. Mom screaming at Lily. Dad trying to calm everyone down. Coach Williams heading for the door, muttering about not wanting to be involved. And Jake just stood there, staring at his broken phone like it held all the answers. I grabbed Lily's hand. We're leaving. You're not taking her anywhere. Mom blocked our path. She's a minor, and you just watched your son assault both your children, I said. What do you think CPS will say about that? Her face went ashen. You wouldn't. Try me. Dad stepped forward. Let's all calm down. OP, take what you came for and go. Lily stays here. No, Lily said. I'm going with him. You're 14 years old, Mom shrieked. You don't get to make that choice. Then call the police, Lily said. Explain why both your children are trying to leave. Explain the bruises on my arm from where Jake grabbed me. Explain everything. We pushed past them, heading for the stairs. Jake made one last grab for me, but I shoved him back. It's over, Jake. No more covering up. No more paying people off. No more hurting people. I'll kill you, he said quietly. I swear to God, I'll kill you for this. Jake, Dad barked. Shut your mouth. But the damage was done. Lily had kept recording, catching every threat, every admission. We made it to the front door, my parents still screaming behind us. I had the ledgers. Lily had the videos. And for the first time in our lives, we had each other's backs. Connor's truck sat in our driveway, blocking my exit. He got out as we approached, hands raised, peacefully. I'm not here to fight, he said quickly. I need to talk to you. Move your truck, I said. Please, 5 minutes. I have something you need to hear. I glanced at Lily, who nodded slightly. 5 minutes. Connor looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. I've been Jake's friend since we were kids. I've always known he was. Intense. But I told myself it was just competitiveness. That the girls were exaggerating. That your parents were just protecting him from gold diggers. And now I realize I've been helping a monster. He pulled out his phone. Jake asked me to edit that video. Make it look consensual. Add some filters to make it seem staged. I said yes at first. I always say yes to Jake. But you didn't do it. Number. Because I finally watched the whole thing. Really watched it. Heard Emma begging. Saw the fear in her eyes. And I realized, how many times have I seen that fear? How many times have I looked away? Lily stepped forward. Why are you telling us this? Because Jake's been recording things too. Bragging sessions with the team. Conversations about the girls. Discussions with your parents about paying people off. He held out a flash drive. I've been his tech guy for years. I have everything. I stared at the drive. Why would you give this to us? Because last week, my little sister started dating a guy on the team. And when I saw how he grabbed her at a party, how she flinched, I realized I'd been enabling this whole culture. Jake's just the worst of them. I took the drive. This could end your football career too. You know that, right? Yeah, I know. He moved his truck, then paused. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For all the times I stood by. For all the times I chose football over doing what was right. He drove away, leaving Lily and me standing in the driveway of our childhood home. Through the window, I could see our parents arguing, Jake pacing like a caged animal. We can't go back, Lily said quietly. I know. Where are we going to go? I thought about Rebecca's tiny apartment, already crowded with Emma staying there. About Marcus the lawyer and his warnings about keeping everything legal. About the flash drive in my hand and the ledgers in my backpack. First, we're going to Rebecca's. Then we're going to figure out how to keep you safe. What about keeping you safe? Jake threatened to kill you. Jake threatens a lot of things, but he's about to have bigger problems than me. We drove in silence for a while, Lily clutching her phone like a lifeline. Finally, she spoke. Do you think they ever loved us? Or were we just accessories to Jake's success? I didn't have an answer for that. Maybe I never would. Rebecca's apartment complex came into view. As we pulled in, I saw 2 more cars I didn't recognize. Through the window, I could see Rebecca's living room was full of people. Emma was there, talking to a girl I vaguely recognized from school. Marcus the lawyer sat at the kitchen table with an older woman in a police uniform. Looks like the cavalry's here, I said. Are you scared? Lily asked. Terrified. You? Yeah, but also, she looked at me. Also kind of relieved. Like maybe we can finally stop pretending everything's okay. We got out of the car, gathering our evidence. The ledgers, the videos, the flash drive from Connor. Truth in digital and paper form. As we walked toward the apartment, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Is this OP Thompson? A woman's voice. Professional and clipped. Yes. This is Principal Morrison from Westfield High. I'm calling to inform you that you're being suspended pending an investigation into malicious rumors you've been spreading about one of our student athletes. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Malicious rumors? I have video evidence of assault. Videos can be doctored. We've seen the edited versions that show this was clearly a consensual roleplay situation that you've misrepresented. And who showed you these edited versions? Jake? His friend Connor, who just admitted to me that Jake asked him to doctor them? Silence. Then, that's a serious accusation. It's not an accusation. It's a fact. And I have proof. Regardless, you're suspended until further notice. And if you continue spreading these lies, we'll have no choice but to expel you and pursue legal action. Do what you have to do, I said. But you might want to talk to your lawyers first, because what's coming out about your star athlete and your football football program is going to make suspension the least of your worries. I hung up. Lily looked at me with wide eyes. Did you just tell off the principal? I guess I did. That was kind of badass. Don't get any ideas. We reached Rebecca's door. Before I could knock, it opened. Rebecca stood there looking frazzled but determined. Thank God you're okay. We saw Lily's video. Are you both hurt? We're fine, I said. And we have the ledgers. And Connor gave us inside, she said quickly. Emma's uncle is here. He's a detective. He's been building a case against the football program for months. We entered the crowded apartment. Emma immediately hugged Lily, whispering something that made my sister tear up. The older woman in the police uniform stood, extending her hand. Detective Patricia Santos, she said. Emma's my niece. I've been investigating complaints about the Westfield football team for 6 months. Your evidence might be exactly what we need. I handed over the ledgers and flash drive. There's more. My mom keeps records of payoffs. My dad has connections with boosters who help cover things up. Coach Williams knows everything and does nothing. We'll need you to make formal statements, Detective Santos said. Both of you. I'm 14, Lily said. Don't my parents have to be present? Given that they're subjects of the investigation and you have video evidence of them witnessing an assault without intervening, we can work around that. The detective's expression softened. We'll make sure you're protected. Marcus, the lawyer, looked up from the ledgers. This is extensive. Your mother documented everything. Names, dates, amounts, even notes about what each payment was for. She's always been meticulous, I said bitterly. Her meticulousness is going to put her in prison, he replied. The girl talking to Emma stood up. I'm Sarah Martinez. I was one of the first ones they paid off. Sophomore year, first period. I want to help. I want to testify. That's brave of you, Detective Santos said. We'll need to coordinate with the district attorney, but with multiple victims willing to come forward. How many are there? Lily asked quietly. The detective's face was grim. Based on our preliminary investigation, at least a dozen over the past 4 years, possibly more. My phone buzzed. Mom calling. I declined. It immediately rang again. You should answer, Marcus advised. Record it if you can. I put it on speaker. What? You bring your sister back right now? Mom's voice was shrill. I don't care what you do with your life, but you will not drag Lily into your delusions. They're not delusions, Mom. You know they're not. I know you're destroying this family. Your father's business partners are already calling. The restaurant reservations are being canceled. You're ruining us. No, Mom. You ruined yourselves when you decided Jake's football career was worth more than his victim's safety. They were compensated. They agreed to the terms. You mean you paid them to stay quiet about crimes? That's called witness tampering, Mom. It's illegal. Don't you lecture me about illegal. You broke into our house. You stole from us. I took evidence of your crimes, and I was retrieving my belongings from my legal residence. You have no idea what you've started, she hissed. The people who support this team, who've invested in Jake's future, they won't let you destroy everything they've built. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Bring Lily home, or what? You'll throw her stuff in garbage bags too? Tell everyone she's mentally unstable? Pay someone to shut her up? The line went quiet. Then Dad's voice. Son, please, let's talk about this rationally. Come home, bring Lily, and we'll work something out. We'll get you help for your jealousy issues. We'll make sure you graduate. We'll even help with college. I don't want your help. I want justice for the girls Jake hurt. Those girls got justice. They got paid. Money isn't justice, Dad. It's a bribe. You ungrateful. He cut himself off. When he spoke again, his voice was cold. Fine. You want to play hardball? Your college fund is gone. Your car insurance is canceled. Your health insurance will be terminated tomorrow. Your phone will be shut off by tonight. Let's see how long you last in the real world without our support. I'll last longer than you will in prison, I said, and hung up. The room was silent for a moment. Then Detective Santos spoke. That was well handled. And recorded? I nodded. Every word. Good. Now let's talk about next steps. We'll need to move quickly before they can destroy any more evidence or intimidate any more witnesses. As she outlined the plan, I felt Lily's hand slip into mine. My little sister, who'd found the courage to stand up when it mattered most. Around us, the apartment buzzed with activity. Emma and Sarah comparing experiences, finding strength in shared trauma. Rebecca coordinating with other potential witnesses. Marcus reviewing evidence and preparing legal strategies. My phone buzzed one last time before the service cut off. A message from an unknown number. You think you've won, but this isn't over. Jake has friends. The team protects its own. Watch your back. I showed it to Detective Santos, who added it to the growing pile of evidence. Let them threaten, she said. Every message, every attempt at intimidation just strengthens our case. As the afternoon wore on, more people arrived. Megan Chen, who'd finally found her courage. Ashley Williams, the coach's own daughter, ready to testify about what happened at her Sweet 16 party. Others I didn't recognize, drawn by word spreading through whispered conversations and private messages. The apartment meant for one person now held over a dozen, all united by shared trauma and newfound determination. And at the center of it all, the evidence we'd gathered. Ledgers and videos, recordings and receipts. Years of cover-ups documented in my mother's careful handwriting. We're going to need a bigger space, Rebecca said, looking around her crowded living room. I might be able to help with that, a new voice said from the doorway. We all turned to see a middle-aged woman in a cardigan and sensible shoes. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. Mrs. Davidson? Lily said, surprised. What are you doing here? My English teacher stepped into the apartment, surveying the scene with sharp eyes. Sarah Martinez is my goddaughter. She called me. She looked directly at me. I've suspected something was wrong with the football program for years. Every time I tried to report concerns, I was shut down, told I was overreacting, threatened with termination if I didn't drop it. Mrs. Davidson, I have documentation too, she continued. Every incident I witnessed, every complaint that was buried, every time a girl suddenly transferred schools or dropped out. She held up a thick folder, 4 years worth. Detective Santos took the folder, flipping through it. Her expression grew more serious with each page. This is comprehensive. I'm a teacher, Mrs. Davidson said simply. Documentation is what we do. She turned to me and Lily. I heard what your parents did, kicking you out, threatening to cut off support. That's abandonment and financial abuse of minors. We'll be okay, I said. No, you won't. Not without help. She straightened her cardigan. I have a spare room, 2, actually. My husband and I never had children of our own. You'll stay with us until we can sort out proper guardianship arrangements. Mrs. Davidson, we can't. You can, and you will. I've already spoken to CPS. Given the circumstances and my standing as a mandated reporter who witnessed abuse, they're expediting emergency placement. Lily looked at me, hope flickering in her eyes for the first time since this all started. It's not charity, Mrs. Davidson added firmly. It's what decent people do when children need help. And despite what your parents seem to think, you're still children who deserve protection. My throat felt tight. After everything, after being thrown away by my own family, here was a teacher I'd barely spoken to outside of class offering us a home. Thank you, I managed. Don't thank me yet. We have work to do. She looked around the room at all the gathered witnesses. All of us do. Taking down a system this entrenched won't be easy. They'll fight back. They'll try to discredit us, threaten us, break us apart. Let them try, Emma said, steel in her voice. We have something they don't. What's that? Sarah asked. Each other, Emma replied. And the truth. As if on cue, several phones buzzed simultaneously. The local news had picked up the story. Star quarterback arrested on multiple assault charges. Westfield High football program under investigation. Parents charged with witness tampering and conspiracy. Jake's mugshot stared out from the screen. No longer the golden boy, but just another predator finally facing consequences. Below it, a note that he was being held without bail after violating the restraining order and making threats. It's starting, Detective Santos said. Once the media gets involved, more witnesses usually come forward. This is going to get bigger before it's over. I thought about my parents, probably huddled with their lawyers right now, trying to figure out how to spin this. About Jake, sitting in a cell instead of on a football field. About Coach Williams, watching his empire crumble. About all the people who'd enabled this system for years. Then I looked around the room, at the survivors finding their voices, at the adults finally stepping up to protect us. At my little sister, brave enough to stand up when it mattered most. Good, I said. Let it get bigger. Let it all come out. Every cover-up, every payoff, every time someone looked the other way. Let everyone see what they've been protecting. Mrs. Davidson put a hand on my shoulder. That's the spirit. Now let's get you and Lily settled. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. As we prepared to leave, gathering what few belongings we had, Rebecca pulled me aside. You did the right thing, she said. Recording Jake, gathering evidence, protecting Emma. Not many 17-year-olds would have that courage. I didn't feel brave, I admitted. I was terrified the whole time. That's what real courage is. Being terrified and doing the right thing anyway. We left the apartment in a convoy. Mrs. Davidson's sedan leading the way, Detective Santos following for security, and Rebecca bringing up the rear. As we drove through town, I saw people on their phones, no doubt reading the breaking news. By tomorrow, everyone would know the truth about Jake Thompson, golden boy turned predator, about the parents who covered for him, about the system that enabled him. But tonight, I was just a 17-year-old kid who'd lost his family, but found something else, something better. A community of survivors and supporters, united by truth and determination. A teacher who saw two kids in need and opened her home. A sister who chose courage over comfort. As we pulled into Mrs. Davidson's driveway, Lily squeezed my hand. We're going to be okay, aren't we? I thought about everything we'd lost, everything we'd gained, everything still to come. Yeah, I said. We're going to be okay. Mrs. Davidson's house smelled like cinnamon and old books. Lily and I stood in the entryway with our garbage bags while she bustled around, turning on lights and adjusting the thermostat. Her husband, a quiet man with kind eyes, took our bags without a word and headed upstairs. The rooms aren't much, Mrs. Davidson said, leading us up, but they're clean and private. Lily, you'll take the blue room. OP, the one at the end of the hall. My room had a single bed, a desk, and a bookshelf filled with classics. Through the window, I could see the lights of town, including the stadium where Jake had been king just days ago. Dinner's at 6, Mrs. Davidson said. We'll need to go over some paperwork for CPS, but that can wait until you've settled in. After she left, I sat on the bed, finally letting the weight of everything hit me. My phone, still miraculously working despite Dad's threats, buzzed with messages. Most were from numbers I didn't recognize. Classmates probably, who'd seen the news. A knock at my door. Lily peeked in, looking small in the oversized t-shirt Mrs. Davidson had given her. Can't sleep either? I shook my head. She came in and sat beside me, both of us staring at nothing. Do you think Jake knows we're here? Probably not. He's got bigger problems right now. My phone rang. Marcus. Sorry to call so late, he said when I answered, but I wanted to update you. The DA's office is taking this seriously. With the evidence you provided, they're looking at multiple felony charges for Jake. Your parents are facing conspiracy and witness tampering charges. What about the other girls? 3 more came forward tonight after seeing the news. Detective Santos is coordinating with them now. After he hung up, I found myself unable to sit still. I wandered downstairs, finding Mr. Davidson in the kitchen making tea. Couldn't sleep? He asked, pulling down another mug without waiting for an answer. We sat in silence for a while, sipping chamomile. Finally, he spoke. My nephew went through something similar. Not the same, but similar. Family chose their reputation over doing what was right. He looked at me over his mug. It gets easier. Not easy, but easier. The next morning came too soon. Mrs. Davidson drove Lily and me to school, where we were immediately called to the principal's office. Principal Morrison sat behind her desk, looking like she'd aged 10 years overnight. The suspension has been lifted, she said without preamble, given the developments in the situation. You mean given that you can't suspend me for telling the truth about crimes? Her jaw tightened. There will be an assembly today addressing the situation. Counselors will be available for any students who need support. What about the football team? Suspended pending investigation. All of them. I thought about Connor, who'd finally done the right thing. About the other players who'd stood by while Jake hurt people. About the system that had protected them all. The day was surreal. Whispers followed me through the halls. Some people avoided me like I had a disease. Others nodded respectfully. A few girls I'd never spoken to before stopped me to say thank you. In English class, Mrs. Davidson taught like nothing had changed, but I caught her checking on me throughout the period. When the bell rang, she asked me to stay behind. The CPS worker will be by the house at 4, she said. They'll need to interview you and Lily separately. Will they try to send us back? Over my dead body. At lunch, I sat alone until Sarah Martinez appeared with her tray. Mind if I sit? I gestured to the empty chairs. She sat down, picking at her food. I never thanked you, she said finally, for being the first one to actually do something. I just recorded what I saw. Number, you chose to act when everyone else chose to look away. That matters. More people joined us. Megan Chen, Ashley Williams, other girls whose names I was just learning. We didn't talk much, but there was something powerful in sitting together, no longer hiding. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Is this OP? A male voice, nervous. Who's this? I'm on the team. Was on the team. Look, I know you don't know me, but I need to tell someone. Coach Williams has been giving us more than just steroids. There's other stuff. Stuff that makes you aggressive, makes you not care about things. Why are you telling me? Because I've been taking them for 2 years, and last week I almost hurt my girlfriend, just like Jake. And I realized, what if it's not just Jake? What if he's just the worst of us because he takes the most? I looked around the cafeteria, then stepped outside. What's your name? Alex. Alex Chen, Megan's cousin. Are you willing to talk to the police about this? Silence. Then, yeah, I think I am. I gave him Detective Santos's number. After he hung up, I stood there processing this new information. It wasn't an excuse for Jake. Plenty of guys took whatever Coach gave them and didn't hurt people. But it was another piece of the puzzle. After school, I found Lily waiting by Mrs. Davidson's car, surrounded by a group of freshman girls. Your brother's really brave, one of them was saying. My sister graduated 2 years ago, and she said everyone knew about Jake, but nobody would do anything. Lily caught my eye and gave me a small smile. Maybe she wasn't as alone as she thought. The CPS interview was exhausting. They asked about everything. Our home life, our parents' behavior, the incident at the house. Lily and I were interviewed separately, but our stories matched because we were telling the truth. Given the circumstances, the social worker said finally, we're approving the emergency placement with the Davidsons. There will be a formal hearing in 30 days, but I don't anticipate any issues. That evening, Detective Santos called with an update. Jake had been denied bail after threatening a guard. My parents had made bail but were under house arrest. Coach Williams had been arrested on substance distribution charges after Alex Chen's testimony led to a search of his office. We also had something interesting happen, she added. Connor Matthews walked into the station with a box of recordings. Apparently he's been documenting things for years, thinking it was funny, until he realized it was evidence. The next few days blurred together. School, where I was either a hero or a traitor depending on who you asked. The Davidson house, where Lily and I were slowly learning what a normal family felt like. Phone calls from Marcus about the legal proceedings. Then came the text that changed everything. This is Austin, Megan's brother. Jake's out. His parents posted some kind of emergency bail. Megan's missing. I called him immediately. What do you mean missing? She left for school this morning but never showed up. Her car's gone. She's not answering her phone. My blood went cold. I found Mrs. Davidson and showed her the text. We need to call the police, she said immediately. But even as we called, I had a sick feeling. Jake had always been possessive. If he thought Megan had betrayed him by talking to us. My phone rang. Lily. Jake's here, she whispered. At school. He's in the parking lot. Where are you? Library. With friends. But OP point. He's got Megan with him. She looked scared. I was already running for Mrs. Davidson's car keys. Call 911. Now. Already did. But you know how long they take to get here. Mrs. Davidson appeared, grabbing the keys from my hand. I'm driving. You call Detective Santos. We made it to the school in record time. Jake's truck was in the parking lot. Megan visible in the passenger seat. Jake stood by the driver's door, scanning the area. Stay in the car, Mrs. Davidson ordered. But I was already getting out. Jake saw me and his face twisted into an ugly smile. There he is. My baby brother. The snitch. Let her go, Jake. She's my girlfriend. We're just talking. Through the truck truck window, I could see Megan's terrified face. She mouthed something I couldn't make out. The police are coming, I said. You're violating your bail conditions just by being here. You think I care? You've already ruined my life. Might as well finish the job. He opened the truck door, and I saw what Megan had been trying to tell me. Jake had a knife. Jake, don't do this. Don't do what? Take my girlfriend for a drive? Have a conversation about loyalty? More cars were pulling into the parking lot. I recognized Rebecca's Toyota, Connor's truck. Word had spread fast. It's over, Jake. Let her go, and maybe you can still make a deal. A deal? He laughed bitterly. You know what my lawyer said? 25 to life. That's my deal. Because of you. Because of what you did. I didn't do anything those girls didn't want. Then why did you have to pay them to keep quiet? His face went red. He grabbed Megan's arm, pulling her partially out of the truck. She cried out, and that's when everything happened at once. Connor's truck screeched to a stop directly behind Jake's, blocking him in. Rebecca jumped out of her car with Emma and several other girls. More cars arrived. Parents who'd heard what was happening. Jake looked around wildly, realizing he was trapped. His grip on Megan tightened. Back off, all of you. Jake, please, Megan whimpered. You're hurting me. I'm hurting you? I bought you jewelry. I treated you like a princess, and you betrayed me just like the rest. Sirens in the distance, getting closer. Jake's eyes darted between the growing crowd and the knife in his hand. You won't do it, Connor said, stepping forward. I know you, Jake. You're not a killer. You're just a bully who's finally getting caught. Shut up. You betrayed me too. No, I finally stopped enabling you. There's a difference. The police cars screamed into the parking lot. Officers poured out, weapons drawn. Drop the knife. Detective Santos's voice boomed through a megaphone. Let the girl go. Jake looked at me one last time. This is all your fault. Then he shoved Megan away and raised the knife. Not toward her or anyone else, toward himself. Jake, no! I found myself running forward. The officers tackled him before he could do anything, the knife clattering across the asphalt. Megan collapsed into Austin's arms, sobbing. Jake was on the ground, screaming threats and obscenities as they cuffed him. I'll kill you, he screamed at me. I'll kill all of you. They dragged him away, still screaming. The crowd stood in shocked silence. Everyone needs to clear out, Detective Santos announced. This is a crime scene now. As people dispersed, I found myself standing with Lily, who had appeared from somewhere in the chaos. Is it over? She asked quietly. I don't know. Mrs. Davidson appeared, wrapping an arm around each of us. Come on, let's go home. That night, the news was full of the story. Jake's second arrest, the knife, the threats. My parents were shown being arrested again, this time for attempting to intimidate witnesses. Apparently, they've been calling the other victims' families. The whole house of cards is falling, Mr. Davidson observed, turning off the TV. The next morning brought a call from Marcus. Jake's being charged with attempted kidnapping, assault with a deadly weapon, and making terrorist threats. He won't be getting out again. What about my parents? Their bail was revoked. They're being held pending trial. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I just felt empty. School was canceled for the rest of the week. Lily and I spent the days at the Davidsons, trying to process everything. Other victims came by. Emma, Sarah, Megan. We didn't talk about Jake or the case. We just existed in the same space, finding comfort in shared survival. Connor came by on Thursday, looking haggard. I wanted to apologize, he said, for all the years I stood by, for all the times I could have stopped him. You can't apologize to me, I told him. I'm not the one he hurt. He nodded, understanding. The other girls, would they talk to me? I want to apologize to them. You'd have to ask them. He left his number. Some of the girls would eventually call him, others wouldn't. That was their choice to make. Friday brought another surprise. A woman showed up at the door, introducing herself as Jake's court-appointed attorney. I need to inform you that Jake wants to make a deal, she said. He'll plead guilty to all charges in exchange for a reduced sentence, but he has conditions. What conditions? He wants a face-to-face meeting with you. In prison, with attorneys present. Absolutely not, Mrs. Davidson said immediately, but I found myself considering it. What does he want to say? He says he wants to apologize, to explain. He says you deserve to know the whole truth. I looked at Lily, at Mrs. Davidson, at this woman offering me a chance to face my brother one last time. I'll think about it. She left her card. That night, I couldn't sleep, turning the decision over in my mind. Did I want to hear what Jake had to say? Did it matter? Saturday morning, Detective Santos called with news that made the decision for me. We found something in Coach Williams' records, documentation going back years. Your brother, he's been on performance enhancers since he was 14. Substances that are known to increase aggression, reduce empathy. It doesn't excuse what he did, but it explains some of it. Your parents knew. They signed consent forms. They paid for the treatments. I thought about Jake at 14, already being groomed to be a star, already being pumped full of chemicals that would change his brain, still responsible for his choices, but maybe not entirely the monster I'd painted him as. I'll meet with him, I decided. The meeting was set for Monday. Mrs. Davidson insisted on coming with me, along with Marcus. The prison was an hour away, a gray building that looked exactly as depressing as I'd imagined. Jake looked smaller and orange, thinner. The arrogance was gone, replaced by something I'd never seen before. Fear. Hey, he said quietly. Hey. We sat across from each other at a metal table, lawyers on either side. I'm sorry, he started. I know that doesn't mean anything. I know it doesn't fix anything, but I'm sorry. For what, exactly? For all of it. For hurting Emma. For hurting all those girls. For trying to hurt you and Lily. For being what I became. What you became, you chose. I know. I chose to hurt people. I chose to use my strength against them. That's on me. But he looked at his hands. Do you remember when I was 14? When I started getting the injections? The steroids. Not just steroids. Other stuff. Stuff that made me feel invincible. Stuff that made me stop caring about consequences. Coach said it would make me a better player. Mom and Dad said it would secure my future. That's not an excuse. No, it's not. Plenty of guys took the same stuff and didn't become monsters. But I need you to know. The brother you remember. The one who taught you to throw a football when you were 6. He was real. Before the substances. Before the pressure. Before I let it all go to my head. I thought about those early memories. Jake helping me with homework. Jake defending me from bullies in elementary school. When had it all gone wrong? I'm going to plead guilty, he continued. To all of it. I'm going to get 25 years minimum. I'll be 45 when I get out. My life is over. The girls you hurt, I know. Their lives are changed forever because of me. I can't fix that. I can't take it back. All I can do is make sure I never hurt anyone again. Why did you want to see me? He was quiet for a long moment. Because you're my brother. Because despite everything, you tried to save me from myself that day in the parking lot. Because I wanted you to know that I know what I did was wrong. And because I wanted to ask you something. What? Look after Lily. She's going to need you. And maybe write me sometimes. Not now, not for a long time, but maybe someday. I stood up. I can't promise that. I know. As we left, I looked back once. Jake sat at the table, head in his hands. My brother, the golden boy, reduced to a number in a system he'd never thought would apply to him. The drive back was quiet. Mrs. Davidson finally spoke as we pulled into town. How do you feel? I don't know. Empty, sad, relieved, all of it. That's normal. It'll take time to process. The trial happened 2 months later. Jake pled guilty to all charges. My parents were convicted of witness tampering, conspiracy, and child endangerment. Mom got 5 years. Dad got 3. The restaurant was sold to pay legal fees and settlements to the victims. The football program was disbanded. Coach Williams got 10 years for substance distribution and endangering minors. Several other coaches were fired. The principal resigned.